Tom, I can sense the frustration and disappointment coming off you right now. It's not the greatest day you've had out there today.
No, another difficult one, mate. When we're playing good teams and conceding rubbish goals, to go 3 down, you ain't going to go beat Lincoln United when they've got a 3-goal advantage. If we're realistic, but at half time we got together, said go and try and win the second half. We were positive, got theoretically 2-1 up in that second half till the red card from the keeper, which may be a little bit harsh. I'm not really sure. And then they obviously score at the end to make it the 5. So frustrating game for us, mate. Again, I thought it was better than Wednesday, but Lincoln United are better than Newark and Sherwood. So we had to step it up another level, to be totally honest, to be competing against really, really good sides. You can't give away cheap goals. I think there's the amount of times there was indecision between defenders and goalkeeper that's just led to easy goals, to be totally honest. And you give any team in this league easy goals, you're not going to be on the right side of the result.
You mentioned that first half there, and that was ultimately probably where the damage was done, wasn't it? It just wasn't good enough.
We tried to play football, which there's always going to be teething problems with what we're doing. Obviously, we're trying to play the right way because we obviously play our situation as our club the best we can with the tools that we've got, and that means that we have to go with a little bit of youth at times that suits them to play football. So we're doing what we can to be effective, and at times we look effective. But soft goals, and that isn't just from young lads, that's from senior lads, including myself, where a bit of indecision across like a back line or even tracking runners and things, and that's irrelevant of whether you're 18, 19 or 35. That's the basics in football. We look good when we're nice and expansive, but when it breaks down, we're not quick enough to get back into shape, and then we get hurt. And that ultimately is why we score goals, but we concede them.
You maybe not like to hear this one, but that's 12 goals conceded this week. That's something you'll want to get a grip of very quickly.
Yeah, 100%, mate. This is a club that we traditionally built on clean sheets. As I say, we've taken a different approach this year, trying to be more positive in certain areas, and that will result in more goals conceded, but hopefully it will result in more goals scored. Traditionally, since we've come back in the last 2-3 years, you look at the statistics, the only thing we've really missed is goals, because we've been in and around the playoffs regularly, overachieving to some extent to be in and around that area, but we've missed additional goals, and the sides that can have a guy that gets 20 goals or split more goals between their front line tend to be the ones that guarantee playoffs, because they just score that many goals. It's hard to get beat. Hence Lincoln United today, score 5, you ain't getting beat. We in the last few weeks scoring 3 and 2 should be enough to win a game of football, but we're too open, too naive, and it doesn't. Not sure it hurts enough to take the pride to get back into shape, get the right side of your man enough, because I think because I've given them license to get wide and be expansive and be positive on the ball. I think, look, I'm where I'm meant to be. It's brilliant, but when it breaks down, you still got to do your defensive job, and we're not doing the offensive job well enough that we get away with being substandard defensively.
How do you think you can go about changing that over the next week or so?
Got more games, mate. We struggle for time, to be honest, on the pitch. We need some training sessions, but as I say, for some reason we've got 5 weeks of we're struggling to train because we've got so many fixtures. I don't know why we've got midweek Saturday, midweek Saturday, midweek Saturday, midweek Saturday, midweek Saturday, but it is what it is. We'll try and get together. We'll try and give feedback back like we did on Thursday, Zoom call where we show some analysis, which we were better offensively today in spells where we played our little diamonds that we try and do. Next one will be to show where we are weak defensively, because there's no doubt it's clear and obvious errors, to be totally honest, and that might not be an individual going, oh look, he's missed the ball or something like that. It's things like you're just not right side of your man, because you're still thinking, okay, in case it drops to Liam Flitton, I want to be right wide so I can ready to zing me to my chest or whatever it may be. It's, to be totally honest, mate, I feel like we need a pre-season before we play any more games. We're not quite where we're meant to be. But when we had lads that we were trying to get hold of that wasn't available until 2-3 weeks into the season, when they've then come available, we take the brave to include them and to try and be positive with some exceptional talented lads that we've got. But we still need to drip feed them into side. So today we kind of identified it was about performance. In spells I thought we had that performance, but it's just poor goals conceding that shadow what could have been an all right display again. I think they were always comfortable, to be totally honest. Even second half, when we had them a little bit rattled when we went and scored 2, I think they were always going to win the game because we'd done the damage in the first half from doing our damage to ourselves, really.
I thought that Lincoln United pressed you really well, and it seemed to force you back a bit more than you maybe would have wanted to.
Yeah, and they're a good side, mate. They're good players. I like both the strikers. I thought they were both useful. The old man in number 9 midfield, he was semi-able to press for a bit, but then when his legs went, I thought that we was able to get on the ball a little bit more. I thought we moved the ball well from side to side. I thought Liam and Ryan being on that left side today gave us a bit of width at times offensively, which made us able to get out. But for me, we get to the middle third and then we look a little bit out of ideas of how to transition that into a final third attack. But that again, we start with different areas and we try and introduce a completely different system to what we've traditionally done. So it is a process that takes time. There's no doubt about that. And deflating because obviously we want to win every game of football. But if we can see small areas of growth in little areas that we targeted, which we did target the diamonds, which were there today, which is why we were able to get out at times. We now need to work on that next third of progression so that we can hurt teams more regularly and score even more goals. But for me, the big thing today will be how do we start keeping clean sheets, because we've scored enough goals to win a game of football. No problem with that at all.
Liam Flitton's red card doesn't just hurt today; it's going to hurt in the next week when he's suspended as well. How are you going to cope with that one?
What are you like in goal?
Not great.
Okay, well, I'm not too bad. I'm not agile, but I'm big. Something we'll address, mate. We'll go from there. Probably a little harsh on Liam. Came to sweep out. I thought there were 2 or 3 defenders actually behind him when he did make contact with the lad. Sometimes when you're the last defender, you have that little bit of pressure, and in a 50-50 moment, he's been unlucky. So we'll have to cope with that, Liam, and that's just another opportunity for someone else, and that is something we'll have to address because we don't have an out-and-out number 2 goalkeeper. Obviously, we spoke to Gaz Duran, trying to get him involved with us previously, but his knee's not quite ready from his operation. So presumably, I'll be dip into the market, mate, and see if I can get somebody to help me out and do me a favour too.
In the meantime, though, you'll be looking on to another Lincolnshire derby on Tuesday night against Deeping, where I'm sure you'll want a response after the last week or so.
100%, mate. We want a response each week. We want to get better week on week. There's no doubt about that. Deeping will be a useful outfit. I think they're probably in a little bit of a vulnerable place, similar to us. What's that?
Deeping have drawn 2-2, so they'll be replaying.
Yeah, so we're not. No.
So we shan't be going to Deeping.
Oh, does that mean I get a training session?
It might do.
Blimmin', eh? Oh, we'll win Saturday then, no problem. Job done. So your glamorous assistant Dean informs us that we'll be having a training session. Oh, mate, we'll win. We'll win the league now. No problem. Get a training session.
Now on to Gedling then.
Gedling. So I'll rotate out at Gedling. Forced rotation, but we'll try and be positive again, mate. To be honest, we need to get right together. We need some players need a little bit of a hug. Others need a little bit of a rocket up the backside. I think that's perfect for us. Thank you, Deepin, because we need to get our head down. We need to address things together. We need to demand certain standards. There's no point in half being good at this and half being good at that. We need to be very good at this or that, or else we end up in between. And you win some, you lose some. Well, we're not here to win some, lose some, score 2, but then concede 3, or score 3 and concede 2. We want to win games comfortably with controlling possession and scoring a hell of a lot more goals than we concede. So there's a bit of work to do, mate. No doubt about that. So yeah, I look forward to training now. I'll try maybe Tuesday and Thursday. We'll try and get 2 sessions in, shall we?